Good morning, everybody. Mystic Rick here, January 7th, 2026. Let me just go and share my screen. So data coming out here in 15 minutes. I did a little scalp off of this Marboozle engulfing candle. Well, it wasn't quite engulfing. I didn't want to take the short engulfing just because how bullish we've been. So I ended up taking this long off of this. And before I was trying to get the YouTube stream to start or figure out how to get it streaming, I trailed my stop up to here and ended up trailing me out after just a couple points. So that's where we're at with this account. Yeah, hopefully you guys are doing well, but here's a great setup, and we got data. We've got data that brings it. We might hit all-time highs today, actually. Not quite. SPX 69.85, 69.90 is the so all-time highs for the index today. If the data comes out all right. Let's see. We're going to be looking at somewhere up here for the days range. I think this would be about 69.90 for SPX. It's something like 69.85, right around there. Yeah, it's a bummer that I just got shaken out right there. I'm not used to logging on to YouTube, the studio, to stream and whatnot. So after I took my entry, I was trying to figure out the YouTube studio on this other page. And then after I couldn't figure it out for a couple minutes, I ended up dragging my stop up. And it came down and trailed me out. And this one looks like it might be a good winner for today. Taking that entry. All I should have did was hold. And I would have been risking, excuse me, probably risking maybe at the bottom of that candle. That's initially what I had set. 7 1/4 to get 7 1/4. Oops. So this would be the 1-to-1. It looks like a buy the dip sort of day, though. We have all green delta right now before data release. So that's exactly what we saw yesterday, and we just saw a trend up day, basically. We had that one jump back down to VWAP off of a Trump tweet, I believe it was, or I could be mistaken. Could just be just regular market dynamics shaking out the bulls. But this is looking pretty decent. We cleared the highs of yesterday and the previous days. So at any time, this could be a sweep for a leg lower if data wanted to come in different and wash out all these bulls that are already positioned long for the day. Let's see. I think this would be around the general area for that. How's everyone doing this morning? Oh, I don't have anybody in the audience. Let's see if I can hop in the Discord and let people know that I'm live. Maybe they'll stop in. If not, no biggie. I'm not doing it for money or anything. I'm just doing it to help people out where I see where the data is moving and what we can possibly anticipate for the day. And like I said, this stuff will all change minute by minute. So far, the bulls have been strong. You kidding, dude? What did you just do? All right, I turned off that echo. I had a YouTube stream going just to see that we were live. And I closed it now. And I posted in the Discord that we're live. Not that we'll get anybody. Not a big deal. Well, we have like 7 minutes before market data hits, and might be a good time just to stretch the legs a little bit, let this work its way out, figure itself out, which direction it wants to go. So if we break over 7,000, basically 69.98.25 on MES, then that would be the opening range 15-minute or breakout you could possibly buy. Actually, it's this right here. This is the zone. 5, 10, 15. And here's the bottom orb. And we can do that on the MNQ also. How's the Make 7 holding up today? Looks like the majority is green. Oh, we got Google just rocket ship today, up 2.5%. Nvidia up 1.25%. Microsoft up 1%. The VIX is up 2% though. That's a little worrying, but you know, like I've mentioned in other videos, I've seen that happen when we're shooting for all-time highs as people get more anxious. So it's to be expected a little bit. Next we have Apple. That's down just a little bit, just at like 0.14%. Meta's down 1%. Amazon is up 1% now after starting out the pre-market down. And Tesla is up just a little bit, like 0.25% right now. Yeah, heading into news. We got 4 minutes. I'm gonna go see if I can start up an egg or something. I'm getting hungry. And I don't usually not going to take a trade as soon as news hits, unless, I don't know, unless what? Unless it's just a clear as day setup that I can't miss it. And data right now is showing that it's all up right now, so buy opportunity possible is what I'm looking at. Let's see. The biggest delta right now is at 6960 SPX. There's like 900 million of exposure planted there. $69.60 SPX looks like about 7,000 on the ES. So this is where the biggest delta bloom is. This would have been a win if I just would have put it at the bottom of that candle. I only needed 6.25 points. Yeah, so it would have been a winner here if I just would have went to the bottom of this candle. It would have been a winner for a 1-to-1 at least. Man, look at that. Bearish bar. Ooh, we've got a negative delta. And we just got a negative bloom that just popped up on the delta exposures at 69.20 of SPX, which would be like 69.60 of the ES. So we're looking at down here possibly as a draw. This is where so we've got all positive delta all throughout all this entire range. And then there's this one outlier that just came into the market, a whale. He's like, I think it's going to go down. Oh, we just got data. That's what's up. What did data say? Job openings, here we go. They're worse than expected on both accounts. Factory orders are down as well. Ooh. Services PMI though was good. This is actually expanding. And we had an employment change today that was not good. It should help for lower interest rates, but the economy doesn't appear to be doing so well as far as on the job front. Interesting. We got some revisions. Okay. Big drop there on the indexes though. IWM is really tanking. And do I try this on the breakout trade or the breakdown trade? You look at 10-point stop loss. I don't know. I'm gonna let it see what's gonna happen here around VWAP and the 50-day moving average. These are all moving averages: the 50, the 200, and the 21. So these are all pretty major. We might be able to take it. It almost could be a long position as the NBC did switch down a little bit now. Now it's only at 69.60, which is more like this. This is where NBC just switched down to. So it kind of looks like we still have the highest delta and highest gamma both up here at 7,000 on ES. That's a bummer. It means it's I'm not going to get the momentum type play that I want to the upside, at least the way data and the way the whales are positioned right now. It's looking Um, hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. The bulls still haven't given up on a lot of these other exposures all the way up and down, so they haven't really flipped. Some of them decreased some, so they did sell some of their position, but a lot of them are still holding right now. Though we do have more puts being bought right at the moment. What's the VIX doing? I used to have a good VIX confluence. When you got a high VIX, you'd pretty much go in reverse correlation to these main indexes. But when you got a low VIX, it doesn't want to work the same all the time, which is pretty frustrating. We got NQ pushing back up. Looks like we got ES is trying again. M2K just hit its support line down here in the left corner, and it's trying to get a bounce. The biggest delta now looks like it's right where we're at, just under price. Hmm. And the NQ is just going in the opposite direction right now of the ES, so it's a little difficult to make moves. It's going in opposite directions. Even the Russell's going down. Makes it really difficult to trade. VIX is going up though. Let me see how this 5-minute candle closes, and let's see what happens here. Looks like puts are gaining. I think I want to try short here.
Order filled.
Might have been a little bit premature. I'm going to try trailing it. Yep. And this is why you want to wait for the 5-minute closure. We just got NQ too strong right now. I shouldn't have jumped in this. I think I'm going to try getting out of this. Yeah, I'm not liking this. I don't like how NQ is so strong.
Order filled.
There we go. I just get out of it, make a couple bucks. It still has a chance to die off, but man, NQ is just being too strong. It's being stubborn. I was really hesitating here on this 15-minute orb as well. So I got defensive. Shouldn't have. Looks like I could have, well, it only been a couple points. Yeah, it's already bouncing back. Let's see how my eggs are doing. Oh shoot, now there's definitely more. Man, that closed outside of that orb range. It should have been a short right there. Should have held on. Bummers. Bummers. It's looking like it could come down to here though, for sure. Now there's starting to be some more puts in the market. And you got NQ here starting to agree. So you got NVIDIA up almost, well, it's at 1.85% now. You got Microsoft at 1.8%. Google's at just under 2%. But the VIX is going up still at 3% up again. Tesla is green at 0.05%. Amazon's up at 0.85%. Meta's down almost 2% though. And Apple's just down just a little bit at 0.2%. Wow, tricky day with MEG 7 and disagreements, and with the VIX rocketing. Well, the VIX is actually working as it should as this is going down. So it's just odd how some of these other MEG 7s are just so resilient. Maybe this is going to try doing a sweep of the low, the London low, and let's see what happens after that. We got the NASDAQ still above VWAP while we got the SPY, the ES, or the S&P, whatever you want to call it, below VWAP. Highest delta exposure is now right here. And there's starting to get a little choppy as far as deltas. There's some green and red above and below price right now on both sides of the spectrum. And you got VIX is still going up right now. It's at 3.5% now up on the day. And you also have NVIDIA still climbing right now. It's up 1.95%. Google's starting to cool off a little bit. It went up from up 2% down now to 1. Now it's up still at 1.64%, but yeah. That really stopped my live? I don't even know what happened. Going live again? Okay. Don't know what happened. Hey everybody, Mystic Rick here. So I think the stream ended and I might have clicked the wrong button. And now we're back at it. Oh, we're gonna have a orb retouch, touch and go. Is that what we got going on? I don't know. We got calls growing, puts decreasing, though they're still outnumbering the calls. Nice. Okay, well we got the magnets up here again. That's nice. The bears just don't want to give up. The VIX just had engulfing. Well, if it closes like that, it could have an engulfing bearish bar, which would be good for the bulls on the indexes. We've got Nvidia at up 2.11% right now. Microsoft up about 1%. Google's hanging on there. We got the VIX decreasing now a little bit, if it can close like that. Apple's just staying where it's been at. Meta is starting to fall further on the 5-minute. Oh, this is looking good.
Order filled.
At least bring it up to here. I got a feeling. The delta just flipped from red to green just now, just above price. So that was a good sign that price was about to just shoot up, and that's why I just entered as soon as I could. Although, as per normal, I'll get stopped out after
Order filled.
just a point less than, even though I had a couple points. Oh well. Looks like we're gonna try having NASDAQ make a new high. Nvidia just started to cool off too, but you got the VIX really cooling off. Had two big 5-minute bars now lower. That also provoked me to click buy just a second ago. Yeah, 69.60 is where price wants to go today. It looks like SPX, which is 7,000. I would say 7,000 is going to be where we're going to head to today. There's a 69.50 area right here that's hard for us to get over. On SPX, it's 69.50, and once we can get over that and use it as a support, we'll go over to 69.60 on SPX, or 7,000 EAS, MES. Ooh, that put seller above price just showed up again. That positive delta just went back negative, so I'm glad I was defensive and trailed my position there. Got out for a gain. 69.20 SPX still is a possibility, which is about right down here on MES. Be a nice shakeout for this leg. Man, this has been a high leg. Let's see, how can I draw a fib up here for us? Turn on my magneto. Yeah, we made a new high today. Boom. So yeah, this looks reasonable. Yeah, we should probably end up coming down to tap this one of these days anyways. I think we might have a gap in here as well. Let me see about that. Yeah, there was a gap from Monday to Tuesday, and there was another gap from Friday to Monday. So from here to here, there's a gap, and then from here to here, there's a gap. On a shorter extension, what would that look like? Yeah, that would be about the 0.5 fib if it came down to this level today. It'd be a really great place for it to bounce. which is 69.64, between 69.60 or 69.56 and 69.64 is the golden pocket we want to target for a long. A little bit below that is the hourly 200-day moving average. One step at a time. I gotta turn off some of these fibs. Too many lines. It's looking bullish. Ooh, the gamma came back. I should have stuck in it. Look at that. 85. It's already a couple points above where I exited. Oh well. What's the VIX doing? It's still plummeting? Yes, it's still plummeting. I could almost want to buy this, but I don't know. Oh yeah, actually, this is looking good.
Order filled.
I'm gonna chase it.
Order filled.
Whoops, I meant to just go under it, but I think it closed me. Yeah, puts are decreasing strong, calls are shooting up. This is going up to 7,000, I bet, here within. I don't even know. I should have stayed in that. Oh man, I'm kicking myself. Man, that's 2 times there. I should have stayed in. The short, I should have held on a little bit longer. And the longs, I should have held on longer. Well, that's a theme with me, everybody. So hopefully you guys can make more money than me. I'm going to start sizing up as the year goes on, though. And I'll, like I started this morning, I was on 2 micros. I don't know why I switched to 1. Probably because the indexes were not in alignment. Everything was all wonky. Man, this looks good though. Kind of high on the RSI, so wait a little bit maybe. Yeah, I hate chasing. Look at the market makers just toy with us. Wow, that was a big volume on this candle. Man, what was said? Well, when you don't know what was said, you can hop on Twitter if you're following the right people, and you can figure it out pretty quickly. Oh, China asked tech to halt NVIDIA chip orders. Bruh, really? Trump threatens to leave NATO at the same time? There's a big SMT here on the indexes. NVIDIA is only up 1% now. Microsoft went up more, up to 1.6%. Google up to 1.6%. VIX just starting to candy cane a little bit. Apple down 0.3. Meta down 2%. Apple up 1%. Amazon up 1%. Tesla up 0.5%. Oh, what a mixed bag. A lot more puts just got bought, but price is holding. I wonder how long that can go on for. What a choppy day. Not much left on the juice for these indexes. Turn on my fireplace next to me. It's freezing in Wisconsin. VIX is starting to go down again. And the indexes are starting to go up. Could be a long. Not really liking how choppy it is and indecisive it is, and back and forth across VWAP and these moving averages, though.
Order filled. Order filled.
Dang, I did not mean to do that.
Order filled. Order filled.
Yes, just does not want to move. It keeps hitting this gamma block or this delta block. Oh, where am I at with this? Yeah, I'm still liking this for a long though. The VIX is dropping. Nvidia is picking it back up. Microsoft is starting to steam ahead. Google's picking it up. Puts are still outpacing calls though, but they're starting to catch up. I should have stayed in that long, a little bit longer. $18.11 today. Where was I at? Oh, it was less. Heyo, what up? Top Step X, why did you just mess up all my layout? I like it like this. There used to be just two instruments with ES on the side and NASDAQ on the side, but I switched it to have N2K, which is the Russell down in this left corner. I like the long for a couple of reasons. This right here on the 2 minute, this engulfing 2 minute bar. This is why I jumped in long on that next candle, besides it being over the 50-day moving average and these Bollinger Bands, which is a old hedge fund strategy that I learned. And I would have just had to put my stop loss under this low, and I would, whoa, what just happened there? That was weird. And this would have been a 1-to-1. If it could hit. Do, 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 do. Oh man, it's going to shoot up, guys. It's looking like it's going to shoot up.
Order filled.
Where are we at? 69.90. Come on, just push like the NASDAQ. Come on, buddy.
Order filled.
Come on, why did you do that? You didn't even touch me. Oh, now you did. 1987. All right. Well, I should probably just be in the NASDAQ. It just cleared 900. Ay, caramba. Why did I exit that? This is just what I look for in a 5 minute, basically. That strong bullish 5 minute bar. And then it come off over this range. Had a sweep out. It didn't quite sweep London low though. I would have been an A+ set up. Instead, I don't know. It could just chop here on VWAP, and that's why I got defensive, to be honest. Although I do see it probably working out as far as data is showing. Yep, you got calls just pushed over the puts, though it's starting to lose a little bit of the momentum. Puts have lost a lot of the momentum on ES, and on NQ. The calls have been strong for a good 10 minutes. And the VIX is starting to work its way down. It's back to almost the day lows. SPX is at 69.50, which is that sticky spot that we talked about earlier. There's not that negative delta there anymore, though, so it should be a little bit smoother for transition. Coming up on the top of the hour here in 5 minutes. We got more calls being bought right now. So that's good for this push to MVC. We got equally high delta exposure right here. That's the same as this one. So we're right in between two highest delta prints, which should help stabilize price until we get more bulls to push it. Still got VIX decreasing, which is a good sign. Atlas came back a lot. It's almost green, just a hair under green right now. Meta's starting to come back a little bit from its down 2%. Now only down 1.7%. And the rest of the MAG 7 is green. So this long is looking pretty good. I should have held it. I definitely should have held it. But there's not much juice left on the bone, so probably going to save my ammo for tomorrow. Unless there's a big washout candle and it rebounds. Which we kind of already had right here. That was some news, though. Trump was saying that we might leave NATO, the United States, saying that we don't need them. Trump single-handedly won 8 wars himself. Yeah, those are some bold claims. I wonder when his birthday is. People always go kind of crazy around their birthday and feel so self-entitled and just gimme. I wonder if that has anything to do with him wanting to take Norway and was it Norway or no? Was it Greenland? Yeah, I think it's Greenland. Venezuela. I know there's reasons for these things, obviously. I guess I'm not going to go into talking politics. I'm just a pawn, just like everyone else. Until you're a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, you're just a pawn. Unfortunately. All right, 10 o'clock. So this should be a little bit higher, it looks like. So these bubbles on here, when I put them on there, it always just extends sideways, unless I change it or update it like I did here at 910, where the embassy used to be above the all-time high. But then after the sell-off, they sold their positions off down to this MVC. So you'll see me just slide these things across as the day goes on, because nothing has changed other than price hasn't hit that spot yet. VIX is still dropping. Man, I should have held this. It's only a couple points though. It's so slow. I think there'll be some better price action tomorrow and Friday for sure, as we have some more bigger data hitting the tape. We got tomorrow we got initial jobless claims at 7:30, and then on Friday we have, I think it's a big one, yeah, U.S. unemployment rate at 7:30, and then, man, this isn't as big. Oh, but the tariffs opinion, this was big. I think they're saying it's at 9 a.m., but I heard it could be a little bit later, maybe at 1. So this could be a bombshell type day. We'll see what happens there. What is this? Not really. Well, this is hitting it up right up to where I thought. This MVC does have stair steps up, so it might not stop at 6760 or 6960 SPX like this is showing. It could go. There's another step 10 points higher at 6970, which would be pretty close to all-time high here. It's not the MVC yet. It's just contending with this spot right now. But bulls have delta support all throughout this entire range. So it's definitely a, oh wow, what's this here though? Yeah. And calls are about to overtake puts. You could have a nice firework here. MBC means most valuable contract, if you guys weren't aware of some of the lingo that I use. It's gamma exposure of 0-day SPX options. That's where these bubbles and data comes from. Let me add up here. What did I say? 6970. Contending MBC. At 1010 or 1005. Looks like we're slowing down into the London close. We got VIX just hit the low of the day. NVIDIA started going sideways the past 20 minutes. Microsoft is starting to take a breather after a nice push up to 2%. Google's up almost 2%. Looks like a nice bull flag setting up. Meta's coming back more since the last update. It's at down 1.5% now. Apple's still down at 0.2% though. It never crossed the line to get green yet today. That's one thing you'll notice is a lot of the Meg 7 might be green and then Apple will be red. Or all Meg 7 might be red except for Apple will be green. I'm not sure why that is, but I've noticed it in the past few years that that's something that happens quite frequently. Yeah. This is why it's hiccuping here so much. There was another all-time high in December 26th. So it's reacting as a resistance line once again. what is that, 69.50 just about on SPX, looks like. Yeah, we're at 69.51 right now, 69.52. So this would be like 69.55. Or, yeah, somewhere around there. Not a whole lot left on it for me yet today. It doesn't look like. The bears aren't giving up so easily. They're starting to buy some more of those puts here. Calls never quite cross the puts, so there's still a tug-of-war battle. We're still in between these two highest delta exposures that I have marked. And yeah, NBC is still looking strong at 69.60. SPX. Yeah, so right around here. And honestly, we're only 5 points away from the NBC. Sometimes this could be good enough if the market didn't want to push any higher. If the bulls didn't want to push any higher, it could kind of just trend sideways. NBC doesn't have to be met as there's so much resistance here. That eventually, as the day goes on, NBC will start to drift lower as some of these bulls give up on their hopes and dreams of an all-time high today. It's still early though. Like I said, London hasn't closed yet. We still have, what, 5 hours of the day left almost. So yeah, over 5 hours if you're talking to the extended hours and of that hour after the main close. Still a lot of the day left. I'm gonna start cleaning up the kitchen a little bit, and I will stay around so I can come update the screens. But as I'm seeing now, everything isn't really changing, and yeah, there's nothing really to talk about. Last time I played music, I got a copyright. I don't believe they gave me a strike on it, but I got something out of a copyright. I'm not aware of how YouTube works things, but I know if you get a few strikes, they'll kick your channel. So I need to do some research on what songs or what music or just something to listen to while we're sitting here waiting for a setup to happen for us. I guess I'm gonna clean up the kitchen, which is right behind me. I got a bunch of dishes I should wash. S&P is up a little bit today at 0.07%. We got the NASDAQ up 0.039%. We've got the Russell down 0.5% right now. And I'm not sure what the Dow is doing. I guess I could look into that. What is that? Plan? Yeah. And the Dow is down 0.40%. And so a little bit of divergence here with 2 of the indexes being positive and then 2 of the indexes being negative. There was a big run on these 2 indexes yesterday though, so I'm not surprised to see it being red or just being a choppy day. They had a big run these past couple days. Look in these bottom two charts. Just nice upward action. Let's see how gold and silver is doing. Oh, this is SIL, I believe. Yeah. There's a little downtrend for today. Last night, gold hit beautiful half gap on this hourly fair value gap back here. Came up and tagged it, had a nice reversion. Check out this reversion last night. I actually was in a short on my other account after I saw this reversion. After I saw these candles here, I ended up getting short, and I took a leg down here. Back to my scheduled programming. M2K. These are supposed to be 2-minute charts as per the hedge fund strategy. Starting to lose its momentum into a close of London here in 12 minutes. Pretty big SMT here that formed. If it ends up coming down, I don't really see it coming down too much though. Possibilities. There's just so many bulls here that yet. There was some growing GEX though, about a half hour ago, down at this 69.62 area. So if they really wanted to do a rug pull on us today, this is where they would be targeting. Once we got down to this area, this is when, if we end up getting down to this area, this is where you would want to target for a short at least. Because by the time we get down to here, a lot of these call buyers will have given up and possibly even flipped their position. So it would accelerate the price action and propel it down into the new GEX if that happens. So far, the highest GEX is still up here. This is still where the bulls are shooting for and the market wants. But yet, if Donald Trump or somebody wants to do a rug pull, or somebody else of high importance they can definitely sell off this market. We're just ping-ponging right now between the two highest delta exposures, is what I'm seeing in the data charts. I think bulls are starting to sell off some of their positions, realizing that the juice isn't there yet. But this could just be the people from London and overseas and whatnot selling off their positions so they can go to bed, sleep easy. And they'll try again tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to step away just for a second. I'll be right back here. Holler if you see anything. Okay, what's happening? Same old thing. I bounce in between the delta magnets. Let's see, this isn't contending as much. The MVC is still there though. I'm not sure there's going to be another trade for me today. There's just not a big enough range here on the ES to make the juice worth the squeeze for me. If you guys have any questions or want me to plot anything or chart any other specific tickers, I can do that. Just hit me up in the Discord or I guess say something in the comments here on YouTube, and I'll try to see it and do my best to do what you're asking. There you go. VIX is really dropping off here. Looks like NBC is up here now. There we go, 7,000 SPX or ES, 69.60 on ES. Looks like we're going to try pushing it up a little bit farther, 69.70 on SPX now is where the NBC is. And we got the gamma and deltas to go in line with it. What, this is almost up to 26,000 on NASDAQ. I should have held on to my longs. They never came out to stop me out. Even after this my boozle candle, you could enter there. 69.90, got 10 points. And your risk would have been about 7-8 points. Huge push up in calls on this candle. Wonder if anything was said. Oh, there was some comments and stuff. They were talking. There's another big delta exposure, both the same as these two here, up in between price, up between these two things. Yeah, VIX put in an inside bar on that last 5 minute. So that's why we got this, started to hesitate. Man, I should have held these positions. Would have had 10, 11 points. Calls are starting to be sold off a little bit as it got up to the MVC, the old MVC, which was right here. It's only got pushed up recently. And I still want to kind of buy this, even though I only can get 10 points. No, I'm not going to. I gotta stay disciplined. I should have stayed disciplined and stayed in some of these longs. Man, should have just held. Look at the thing just go right up to the new NBC out here. It was a tricky day of trading today. Man, technically this would have been an entry this morning. Glad I didn't take it since it was within the first 5 minutes. I was kind of thinking this would happen. I actually took this long. I would say this would have been a long. This morning, like I did, as it engulfed there, it was a Marbuzel candle. And would it have been a winner though? Yes, it would have been a winner. Next, this was not engulfing. I wouldn't have liked taking that. This was a good one though. Too bad it didn't close up here. Otherwise, that would have been a good entry. There's really only one entry today. For the keep it simple, stupid entry model, there were some other ones that could have been possibilities, but not that I was looking for them. Well, we got up to my 7,000. Wait, that's SPX though. Okay, where's that one? The Russell just came back to be positive. Got NASDAQ up 0.62 now, and the S&P up 0.25. I still think it's going to end up here a tag eventually today. I should have bought it back here where I said I should have. I was hoping for a little bit more of a pullback, I suppose. After this candle, though, man, it was pretty bullish. That's what you want to see. I should make these delta exposures maybe different color. I'll make these like yellow. Yeah, that'll be good. And then the other ones will be orange. That way we will know the difference of which ones are gamma and which ones are delta. And then these ones I'll have the orange. And put this orange just to let me know. The NBC thing, this thing needs to be orange. I don't like covering up price, so that's why I keep like moving it over and stuff. Though I know that's just right where it is. It's actually a little bit higher up. It's up right at the bottom of this, right at the NBC basically. Hey, Apple's almost green. Meta's only down 1%, now 1.1%. Google's up 2.25%. Avgo's up 1.25%. Nvidia is up 1.5%. Tesla up almost 1% at 0.85. Microsoft up a little bit over 2%. Dang, Amazon's just taking off on the daily. Google looks like it's going to start going on the daily here. If it closes up here like that. What day is it? Wednesday? Probably tomorrow will be Thursday. And that's where we go one more day. It'll be all-time highs tomorrow and Friday. That's the same thing that happened to me. VIX is starting to creep up off the lows the past about 20 minutes. Even though we're almost all-time highs, like I said earlier today, like you'll see VIX going up when the indexes are going up, which is an abnormality. It's abnormality, whatever that word is. A lot of this game is just being patient, waiting for your setups, realizing that if you missed it, don't try chasing it. I've been in the boat too many times where I chased entries and end up in situations like this where I was like, oh, it's going to go to all-time high. And yeah, it might, but it also, might lose 7,000 again where I had my stop possibly. It would have been a lot better to have my entry right around 7,000, so that my stop could have been around VWAP or better. There's still a few different ways you could have played this today. SPY is at 194 almost. It just hit 193.96. SPX just hit 69.65. And that's where we were targeting earlier this morning. We still got a little bit of juice to go for MVC. And then we've got possibly a continuation if bulls really wanted to get spicy. Because you've got some growing gamma and delta exposures beyond the MVC print that I have listed or charted up there. It's kind of a ramp from like about this size MVC, what we just basically hit, to gradually coming down to a ramp like this up to 69.80, 69.85, which would be right around here, I'm guesstimating. That could happen if we had a blow off top. Looking at the daily, once you hit an all-time high where there's a lot of short, people might have short orders, and if price goes up just a few points past their short orders where it came back down, price could explode up if you got the bulls who took control, because it would trigger all their short orders, and some of them might reverse to long, in which case you could go to here and all the way up to 7,000 SPX today. Probably not. That's pretty low on the scale of possibilities, but definitely in the coming days. We just hit the biggest delta magnet, and that's why we're rejecting. We hit it and coming back down, and also it's just a few points from MVC. So a lot of times the whales will see where MVC is the same as the retail can see it now, and they'll front run it on us so that we can't hit our target. Or, you know, if people got in chasing an order, they'll do this right at the last second to wash out a lot of longs that got in the last 10, 15, 20 minutes, only to finally come back up later in the day. There's so many different tricks that the market makers and hedge fund managers do. It's just a big game, I feel. What kind of box do we have? 15-minute or hours? Start with the hour. Not much here, not much there. This one's not done yet. 15-minute. This one got tapped a bunch of times, which would have been good confluence for that rocket ship out. Let's just see what that looked like, just for shits and giggles. So that would have been here to there. And this is a 15-minute fair value gap. Man, look at how many times I think tagged half gap. Well, this is a 15-minute chart. Let's look at what this looked like on a 5-minute. Man, was that nice. Just short. Oh, plus there's VWAP right there and half gap. That was some good confluences for a long. Well, at 817-ish. And then after I came back out of the gap, closed out of the gap, the 5-minute, we're starting to trend on this 21 EMA. You could have got in this at 850. Like, I would have felt fairly confident with half gap or this low as support, or my stop loss, or 800 even. Would have been a pretty decent stop loss. Would have been like 55 points or so. but it was looking good on that rebound on the 5 minute, and it held up on the next 5 minute. If you would have taken that, shit, what was that? 850 up to, well, we're almost up to 26,000. It's not going to hit that. No wonder we're stopped. We're almost at 26,000, guys. Like, money managers see this. Everybody sees this. They front ran it before it got there. That's why you never want to try going to, a support or resistance line, just getting the last couple points or right to an even number, because it just gets front ran so often. And it'll just hesitate for so long before it possibly gets there. But usually there'll be a washout. There's a pretty big 5 minute fair value gap here, though I don't use those very often. The 15s are more reliable. There's a little one here. Well, there's one here too. Excuse me. So this is a 15 minute fair value gap. Yeah, so that one was, I'm just gonna copy this. I like to know whether it's a 1 hour fair value gap or a 15 minute that I have on the charts. So that's what we have going on with the NASDAQ. Let's see what it looks like for our S&P. Our fair value gap here. Can't really see it, but thank God for a magnet. Drag this across. Go like this. Change this to 1 hour. And that's only so far. I guess this hour thing isn't even finished yet. So really, it's not even a fair value gap yet, technically. Let's see if there's anything lower. I don't see any lower. That's 1 hour at least. Let's go back to this. I'm not going to put the hourly one in yet because it's not a gap until after that gets formed. Until after that 1 hour candle finishes. Let's run it this way. 1 hour gap or 15 minute gaps. There was one here that was a bearish fair value gap. Here to here. And which you got nullified. And there's another one. The problem with putting all these gaps on here is that the chart starts to get more cluttered. That's why I usually will delete them, but they come in handy so often. Look at this one. It's going to bounce right off the 15 minute orb. That's what this line is here. And there's one more right here, but it's so small. Let's see if it holds though. Let's see if it holds. Or will it just come down to half gap? Bring it down to the 5 minute. Zoom this out. Whoa, not that. Like this. Let's see. Well, I can delete this. It's not contending anymore. NBC's up here and it basically got tapped. Getting a bid right off for that 15-minute half gap. Yeah, it's looking kind of decent. If this wasn't right next to 26,000, but and besides, NBC almost already touched. Got the RSI and the 5-minute. Oh no, that's a 2-minute. We'll cancel that. Let's see. Puts are over calls right now on both indexes. Let's see if they stay the same and it continues down a little bit farther. We've got the 9 and the 21 and the 50 and the 200-day moving average. And then we have VWAP here. It's the yellow line. I don't like to have too many moving averages out there because I don't use them very often. But once price starts to spread out a little bit, then I don't mind them having them on. Just so I can see what other some other traders are possibly looking at. And also just the overall basis of price. Knowing that price is over the 21 usually is a call for a buy and under it is a sell. And kind of the same goes for an even better, more so, is the 50-day moving average. It just, as far as safety goes, as it goes down, it gets safer and safer. Whether you're above or below the 200-day or the 50-day or the 21, I think the odds probably go down or up, however you want to look at that, as you take more trades off of these different levels. I think they would get better as you're playing them off of a longer time frame EMA. Are we going to tap 26,000 on NASDAQ today? The NASDAQ futures. We shall see. We're at 25,800 right now on the NDX, the cash NASDAQ exchange. And on SPX, we're at 69.61 right now. Looks like a little bit of choppy action, but possibility here to start going again is the VIX or the UVXY just did a little turnaround pivot in the last 10 minutes. And Let's see, did the VIX do the same? I gotta switch my page over. Yep, VIX did the same. It did a nice pivot up there at basically 15 and hit the reverse button. And now it's continuing back down towards the lows of the day, in which case that'll help the indexes juice up to their destinations. Look at that. Almost up to 26. Jeez! Got a SMT going on right now between the indexes, though. As the NASDAQ is making new highs and ES is not. 2 points from 26,000. Well, chat. Let's see if there's any messages in the Discord. Nope. VIX is doing a little bit of a turnaround, it looked like. Yeah, possibly. The fear greed index is at 52 right now. Just updated it. There's been some growing put buying down in this area recently, the past 5-10 minutes. This is the top of the 15-minute orb right here that it's bouncing off of, and this half gap of this 15-minute fair value gap. And dropped almost 40 points on NASDAQ from here. They front ran this 26,000. I wonder if the NASDAQ got up to 26,000. No. Since they're different indexes, sometimes they can be a little bit off from micros to. This one is just a couple points higher. best way to cook petite tender beef fillet. Let me get some of that stuff off the screen. I don't need those lines that were showing the deltas before. The highest delta exposures are still they're still in the same spots. Shoot. These are about the same size. How the frick is this thing going up? Oh my gosh, dude. Well, it's the magnet's fault. Don't want it that big. Whatever, dude. I'll just go like this. Make them smaller. Yeah, this is where one of the bigger delta nodes are down here. If they want to continue down, here's one of the last strongest supports. There's a double delta here, stacked right around VWAP. This 15-minute fair value gap, half gap. This would be back to the volume profile, point of control as well, that area. So definitely possibility. Bouncing right off here. Well, if it tried the top of the range and it couldn't go any farther, it might go and try the center of the range. Let's see where we're at on a fib extension. From this washout to the top, we've got Right now we're sitting at a 382, which is a good spot for a continued buys. If bulls were in control, they would continue on from here. And sure enough, right at one of the last lines of support for the deltas that we're seeing in data is right here on 0.5, 0.62 of the Fibonacci retracement toolbar. It'd be a cheap long if you almost wanted to try it here. If you think it's just going to chop around up in this zone for the rest of the day. Just because you could set your stop loss right underneath this low. It'd only be like a 2.5 point risk right now. And that right away, almost got 2 points right off of that. It was like 1.5 points. What are you guys having to eat tonight? Anything good? I'm gonna have beef tenderloin, like fillet. I'm gonna pan sear it and then throw it in the oven. I'm gonna make some potatoes with it of some sort. Haven't figured out how I want to cook them, whether hash browns or boil them, or possibly even a baked potato, since I got the oven going. Yeah, I'll think about it for a little while. What do you guys think? Man, I wish data would have showed that short a little easier. It didn't even really give us a, well, there was that, like I said, about an hour ago where they had that buildup down below. And after this left 7,000, probably could have shorted from one delta to the next, or maybe even VWAP. Half hour later. Yeah, with this fib on there. Nasdaq is definitely much stronger than the ES right now. It's so weird to have these assets so uncorrelated, as they usually are paired. Probably better idea just to wait for that. Well, hopefully you guys are having a good day. I'm starting to lose energy for it. Getting SPY shaping up to possibly have a doji candle today. If it's gonna finish right around here, it's only up 0.08%. Are they gonna bounce it? What are they gonna do? All right, everybody. Well, thanks for logging in. We'll have a good day. Hopefully everybody did well. We'll see you later. If you guys are subscribed, you guys can see my 5-minute entry model where I call it Keep It Simple, Stupid. And that's just where I will take a 5-minute bullish engulfing bar or a bullish or bearish, what are they called? I don't know, some weird name, Arbuzel candle or something. Arbuzel candle, maybe it is. I found that was a good turnaround pivot candle that I like to take if the trend is going in that favor. Anyways, hopefully, like I said, everyone has a good night and take care. We'll see you guys on the next stream. Peace.